Hi everyone, my name's Jamie Humphries, and in this lesson we're going to be talking about drop D tuning. Now, drop D tuning is one of the most popular altered tunings, and it is also probably one of the easiest ones for you to achieve and for you to use. Basically, the concept is that we take our sixth string, our E string, and we lower that in pitch by a whole tone. Now, by lowering our sixth string down by a whole tone, it enables us to achieve a power chord, a D5 power chord on the open bottom three strings. Now, although this tuning is used in a wide variety of different musical genres, due to the nature of the sound, that kind of thick and heavier tone that you can achieve with drop D tuning, it's very popular with rock, metal, and alternative guitar players. So in this lesson, we're going to be really looking at drop D tuning from a rock perspective. Okay, so let's take a look at example number one. Now, example number one is making use of that D5 power chord that we now achieve on the bottom three strings. What you're going to be doing is just playing a 4-bar riff where we are mixing up different rhythmic combinations just to get you used to playing on the bottom three strings, as well as introduce you to the sound of drop D. Try to take care with your picking hand. Make sure that you keep the movements smaller so that you are not striking any unwanted strings. And also you can try experimenting with mild amounts of palm muting and removing the palm muting as well. Experiment with accents. That's going to make the your playing a little bit more dynamic. But you can also hold an open position D5 chord as well, so that if you do strike those unwanted strings, then it's not going to sound horrendous with strings sort of clashing with the sound of the D5 achieved on the bottom three strings. So I'm going to play through the example for you, first of all, with the backing track, and then I'm going to play it at a slightly slower tempo with the click. Now let's take a look at example number two. And for example number two, we're going to experiment playing power chords on the bottom three strings with one finger. Because we can play that open D5 power chord on the open bottom strings, we can now play power chords with one finger and move them around. So this is a really effective technique, and it's a great way of you being able to play quite fast riffs because you're only using one finger. So what we're going to do in this riff is we are going to be playing a series of power chords. Basically, we're going to be playing the open D5 power chord. We have an E flat 5, we have an E5, and an F5. So we're going to be playing power chords, open power chords, and then power chords on the first three frets. And this riff is going to be pedaling off of that open D5 power chord. So you're playing predominantly a consistent eighth note rhythm, although there are a few quarter note stabs and accents in there. So once again, pay attention to the picking hand. Just try to strike those lower three strings and make sure when you're fretting the power chords with one finger, you sound all of the notes and get it sounding nice and clean. Okay, so I'm going to play through example number two for you, first of all with the backing track, and then I'm going to slow things down and play it for you with the click. Now let's take a look at example number 3. And for example number 3, we're going to be looking at combining our power chord that we play on the bottom 3 strings, either open or with one finger, and how we can combine that with a power chord on the next group of 3 strings based off of a movable A shape with the root note on the A string. For this riff, you're going to be once again pedaling off of the bottom 3 strings, even when you're playing these movable power chord shapes with the root note on the A string. And as well as that, we're also going to be including power chords performed with one finger across the bottom 3 strings. So take care with this because you're going to be moving across. Your focus is going to be changing in terms of where the root note is and where your picking is going to be, where you're going to be attacking the strings. When you're playing a power chord with the root note on the A string, you don't want to be striking that low E, and you're going to be pedaling off of that open D5 power chords. There's a little bit of moving around with this riff, so really pay attention to the rhythm and pay attention to how you move your picking hand. Try to keep everything nice and clean. So I'm going to play this riff for you with the backing track up to speed, and then I will demonstrate it for you at a slower tempo with the click. Now on to example number 4. And for example number 4, we're going to be looking at some extended chords and how we can really change the sound of chords and how we can breathe new life into our chords by simply dropping our E string down a whole tone to D. Now, I'm a big fan of King's X and a big fan of Ty Tabor. So this example is reminiscent of something that he might play with some nice chord arpeggios. We're backing the volume off a little bit, although I've still got a driven tone. Okay, I'm cleaning the guitar up ever so slightly by just dropping the volume down. Now, we are going to be moving around the neck quite a lot with this example. It's possible for us to achieve some very rich sounding chord extensions with this new altered tuning, especially when we incorporate the open string. So it's really important that when you are moving between these chords, even when you're climbing up the neck, try not to mute out the open strings. Let the open strings ring out, as they will give you time to move into the next chord shape. And also pay attention to the picking as well. This one's going to be a little bit trickier because we are mixing up 8th note and 16th note rhythm. So it's a little bit more intricate with your picking hand. But this is a really cool technique, and this will really breathe new life into your chord playing and allow you to add some pretty elaborate sounding extensions. Okay, so I'm going to play the example for you first of all with the backing track up to speed, and then I will demonstrate it for you at a slower tempo with the click. Now let's look at example number 5. In example number 5, we're going to look at how we can play single note riffs, very powerful sounding single note riffs, making use of our drop D tuning. The cool thing here is that we have a certain amount of symmetry that occurs because of the fact that we are dropping the E string down to D. In other words, whatever we play on the 6th string, we can play on the D string. Okay, so it's the same shape. So you can get some very interesting intervallic sounding riffs. Now this riff is a little bit fiddly. The rhythm can be a little bit tricky. We're mixing up some 16th notes in there as well as some dotted 8th and 16ths. Okay, it's got a really cool groove about this riff. And as well as that, there's some slightly troublesome pull-off figures where we're pulling off to open strings. And we're also moving this riff around the neck. So again, make sure that you really pay attention to allowing those open strings to ring out. You don't want to mute the open strings. They really do play a big part in the sound of the riff as well as the consistency of the rhythm. I've also gone onto the neck pickup of my guitar to sort of echo the sound of Tom Morello with that really fat neck single coil tone. So now I'm going to play riff 5 for you up to tempo with the backing track, and then I will play it slowly with the click. Now let's take a look at example number 6. And example number 6 is our mini piece. And I've tried to cram as many of the different ideas into this riff. We're going to be pedaling off of the low power chord that we achieve on the bottom 3 strings and playing power chords with the root note on the A string. And also playing power chords on the bottom 3 strings. I've also got this really cool little melodic phrase further up the neck. Again, this just demonstrates how introducing the open tuning can really affect the harmony that we can achieve. Get a little single note riff in there as well, and this really cool chord. I've also included some chord arpeggios, so take care with the shift in the rhythm, including some 16th notes. And also look out for this section. We have a section where we're going to be moving on the drop 6th string, but playing the open D and G strings. So really observe that we need to allow those strings to ring. Okay, so now I'm going to play through example number 6 for you with the backing track, and then at a slightly slower tempo with the click. I really hope you've enjoyed this lesson exploring drop D tuning. If you've been playing guitar a while and have been using drop D, hopefully there's some new ideas in here for you, some new chord voicings. And if you are new to playing guitar, I hope that this has inspired you to experiment a little bit with the tuning of your guitar. It can really breathe new life and inspiration into your playing. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then please hit the like button on this video and don't forget to subscribe to guitarworld.com. That's it from me. I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye for now.